Welcome to this episode of Avitar Face to Face. My name is Kinch-Thomas, and it's a pleasure to have you with us today. And we are bringing you news and events from the arts and culture world in Westchester and beyond. Thank you very much for joining us today. And we want to welcome to our show Pamela Eatman Skinner. She is a producer, she is a vocalist, a director, and a playwright. She's also the founder and artistic director of Tiny Starr Productions. Welcome to the show, Pamela.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
It's an amazing experience. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're one of my favorite people. You know that.
Thank
because
you so much.
You're in one of my favorite groups. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
You have such a wide and expansive experience in the arts. As I said, you're a vocalist, and I know that you sing with Ebony Ecumenical Ensemble, but let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
You've been immersed in the arts since childhood.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How did that all begin?
I have to give my parents the credit.
Okay.
My dad's a pastor in New York, Pastor Charles Eatman, and my mother Lorraine Eatman. From as long as I can remember, we were always immersed in the arts.
Okay.
You know, Christmas night we'd go see Ailey,
Okay.
at City Center.
Right.
We'd go to Town Hall to see something, and we were always immersed in. I fell in love with the arts very young, started writing very young.
Okay.
It was just normal for my dad to say, okay, memorize, Langston Hughes' Youth. We have tomorrow right before it's like a flame. I can still remember.
Okay.
But those were so influential and got me started in the creative arts, and I love it.
Wonderful. So what a fantastic foundation then
Yeah.
for you in terms of what you were going to pursue later on in life.
Yes.
But you, as a vocalist, you've traveled the world
Yes.
and sung with many different productions. Give us an example of some of the
Okay,
productions.
well, I sang with the Glory Gospel Singers all over Europe.
Okay.
We were in Switzerland and Germany and
Right.
France and Italy. We had an amazing time. That was over a couple of years. We would
Right.
go some months at a time
Okay.
to perform to crowds of wonderful numbers. And music is definitely the universal language, because even if they didn't speak English, they still could feel the pathos and the love in the
Right.
music. So it was an amazing experience. So that's one of the experiences that I've had.
Okay, fantastic. And at what point did you start writing?
I would say around 12.
Okay.
I had a wonderful drama teacher. He's passed now, but his name's A. Marcus Hempel.
Okay.
And he got me involved in writing and performing. I played Odessa in James Baldwin's Amen Corner, and I was totally bitten. He brought in Morgan Freeman to work with us. We were like,
my.
from the electric
Well, that will
company?
do
Come on.
it.
We
Yes.
didn't have a clue how blessed we
Oh,
were.
my goodness.
So that was an amazing experience. So those were some of the earlier years. And then in the 80s, there was a competition, the New York State Arts and Sciences competition for drama.
Okay.
And at that time, I think it was Andrew Cuomo was our governor.
Right.
And we got to meet Harry Belafonte and Coretta Scott King. I ended up going to the King Commission, was a chaperone. I mean, I had an amazing time.
Well, you've won an award from the
Yes.
King Commission, right?
Yes,
Right, and
yes.
that was the Martin Luther King Arts and Science Award for Drama.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Congratulations.
That was
And
a long time ago.
But still, I mean, those are the kinds of things that inform
Yes.
and allow you to want to reach for even higher heights and to do more within
Absolutely.
the framework of your art.
Absolutely.
And I will say also that you were the Musical Director of the Year Award for the Accelerated Christian Education. And you currently serve as the Minister of Music at Mount Pleasant Community Church in New York
Yes.
City. Okay, wow. Steeped in the arts, indeed. Okay, so now we were talking about your writing. You started around 12 years old.
Yes.
You were writing what at that point?
I was writing poetry, short stories. Our church had a dramatics club.
Okay.
So we would do different shorts for different festivals or different things we had coming up, and I was always available to do the writing for it, and of course with my other comrades, and we enjoyed it, and that really got us writing. My education is also as an educator, a
Right.
teacher.
Okay.
So that also helped me with the whole process. So it's just amazing how it's all come together.
What was it about writing the short stories that spoke to you?
You can entertain and bring truth,
Mm.
the virtues that are outdated.
Okay.
Even then, some of the virtues began to erode, and that made me want to tell stories about how to get back to it. So it was not personal to the people that were watching it, even though you were speaking to issues that were relevant to them.
Right. So universal issues,
Absolutely.
human issues,
Absolutely.
about the human condition.
Absolutely.
Okay. Just from some of your descriptions of your productions, that's what I was getting.
Okay.
I was getting there the values that you want to impart.
Yes.
Is there a common thread then throughout your productions that you want to be able to share with people?
Yeah. We're theater with soul.
Okay.
And I really mean that. Meaning, for instance, I had last year a play called Blessed Be the Tie.
Yes.
And it was premiered on Mother's Day. And that one was about remembering the good, the connectedness of the family. Don't forget the elders. Don't forget the love.
Right.
There's so much there. And, we get on this busy track of living our everyday lives, and we forget to go back home and go back to what really matters. So all of my plays, they're not all religious, so to speak, but they are inspirational, and there are truths that are hidden throughout. They'll make you laugh out loud. They may make you cry. You'll go through the gamut.
Okay. So what starts a play for you? Where do you get the inspiration or the motivation to tackle a particular subject or look at specific characters? How does that work?
Wow. I get inspiration from the snow, from a table that's set. I remember being at my grandmother's house for Thanksgiving. Anything. This room will give me inspiration. That's just, life. The way a leaf waves, and how our lives are waving, and what do we do while we're on the branch? Just different things.
Okay.
Come to me.
Okay, all right. And speak to you, and then that is translated from pen to paper.
Yes.
And your play process begins.
Yes.
How long does it take you to craft the entirety of it?
Usually it doesn't take long, honestly. It takes several weeks, and then I edit for months.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It takes, the inspiration, it begins to flow, and I see the dancers and what they'll do and what the vocalist will do, and I'll dream a song, and it comes together. But then I edit and edit and edit and edit, and then give it to those people that need to look at it and edit again.
And some more, okay,
Yeah.
until it is perfect.
Until
for
it's
you
launchable.
Launchable.
Because each year
Okay.
it morphs into something else.
Uh-huh.
If it's something that I bring back, I always see something more.
Okay, so and we should say that you've been producing and writing these plays now for the last 10 years? At
Yeah,
least?
since 2001, I've actually committed to the stage.
Okay.
Before then I would, do it. I have 20 plays on my laptop.
Wow.
So it's
Okay.
but actually committing to launching. And that's an important thing for me, because there's so many talented people, but we don't put our pen to paper, and then the dream fades away if we don't catch it.
Right, okay. That's a very important point.
So important.
But now you just mentioned a couple of elements, and I want you to talk about the different elements that make up your plays, because it's not simply straightforward drama.
No.
Okay, so...
As I said earlier, I'm 6 years old going down to see Alien, Revelations, and just getting caught up in that. So I love dance.
Okay.
I love vocal, I love it all. So
Right.
somehow I infuse it, and even though I'm not a dancer, far from it, I did take dance as a child, but I know what the body and the mind and the voice, everything is so connected.
Right.
So I know what I want to see. I translate that to my choreographer.
Okay.
And from
And
that,
say,
we battle on what I want to see.
Right.
And then she's an amazing person, Leah Smiley Tubbs.
Okay.
And she
And
brings
she
it to
brings
life.
to
And I'm
you.
like, yes, that's not it. Let's get that. And we have such a wonderful collaboration. And that's what I've learned. You can't do it by yourself. You need people that are gifted in different veins
Right.
to add to the whole. And that's a virtue that we're forgetting, because you're great in one area and I'm great in another area.
Right.
And together we become powerful.
Okay, that's amazing. So you have taken your writing, you've put these plays on paper, and then you produce them and you've directed them. You've brought in elements of choreography with dance. You write the original songs for these plays.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. How many songs per play?
Wow. It matters based on the play. You know, it could be 5 songs, it could be more, it could be just the theme song.
Right.
So it's based on the subject matter and how I'm inspired for that particular work.
Okay, all right. And I know we're going to have a performance in a little while, so
Okay.
we want people to stay tuned because it's going to be very special.
Okay.
What do you want people to walk away with from these plays?
I want people to be touched.
Okay.
We become so hardened by all the media, all that. Media is wonderful, and we're using media now, and that's a
Yes,
great thing.
yes.
But sometimes so much negativity is translated to us each day. And that's why we enjoy going to the movies or to a show, because
Right.
we want to kind of get into a different space where we can let our guards down and hopefully learn something.
Okay.
And that's where, you know, my driving theme of the virtues of love, of community, of family,
Right.
of dealing with those issues in a non-threatening way, but in a way that you can actually walk away and think about.
Okay. So your characters are they are alive with the challenges of being who we are in this world and what we have to deal with. And are the endings, is the finish, is it always hopeful? Is it
Always a thread of hope. I
Okay.
think that's important. I think a thread of hope is always important. The situation may not always resolve like we'd like it to,
right?
but somehow in there is a vein that tells you that if you don't quit, that there are possibilities.
Okay.
A
So-
Kairos moment, an opportunity for change.
Yes, a change and inspiration and
Yes.
inspiration. So that is Tiny Starr Productions.
Yes.
And you have these plays how many times a year that people would be able to?
Yes, it varies. I would
Okay.
say generally about 3 or 4 times a year.
Okay.
We have, you know, each season we'll have a different play
All
that
right.
will.
And they're typically in a different venue or location?
Right now they have been. Our last play was at Symphony Space. We've been at the legendary Aaron Davis Hall. We've been
Right.
at Hunter College's K Playhouse and
Okay.
so on. And so right now we're moving around a bit, but each one offers a different level of beauty. So
Okay. So now I want to get to the current play.
okay.
And you are presenting and producing a play coming up at Riverside Theater in New York City.
Yes.
Okay, and that play is Mr. President.
Yes. Courage at Midnight.
Mr. President, Courage at Midnight. I love the title.
Yes.
Okay. What is this play about?
It's actually, when you hear the title, you think it's all about the president and all the gritty details about, you know, life in the White House and all. It's really not. It's the story of a young man named Justice who's disillusioned about life. He's done all the right things and still hasn't quite reached the goal that he thought he would. And he interfaces with the president, and his life is never the same.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
that's powerful.
Yeah,
That
so
is powerful. Why did you want to write about our president in that respect?
Yes. Well, it's what I call a historical fiction because
Okay.
the dialogue about the president are all taken from facts, you know, his writings directly from his books and what have you. But the
Okay.
fictional story shaped around it is my artistic idea of what the president stands for. You know, I started thinking about this in 2008 around the election time,
Right.
being in Harlem, you know, at the the state office building with thousands of people out, and just the palpable energy. It was just a tremendous time.
Right.
And that's daybreak, but midnight comes, and courage is needed in order for you to make it through. And that courage is not just for him, but it's for all of us.
Yes.
So that's that got me thinking. And then I did some writing out at the Martin Luther King Memorial. So I was just sitting there looking at him and like, wow, how did you do what you did? So it's been a process.
Okay. It sounds intriguing, and it sounds like the type of play that people across the board would be able to relate to.
Absolutely.
And no matter what age. So, I would say that, youngsters,
Definitely.
8, 9, 10 years old,
Yes.
up through seniors would be able to connect with some of the things that you are presenting in this.
Yes, most definitely. It's written so all ages can really tap into it.
Okay. And do you think, what has been the response? Because I know this is not the first time that you have produced this play. What has been the response in the past?
People were really, they really loved the presentation, and that's so gratifying for me after going through the process and, hearing all of this inside your own head, and then finally putting it on stage and people connected to it, connected to one of the characters.
Right.
So that they've enjoyed it, thank God.
Okay. Now how big is this cast?
The company is about 30 people.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so we have vocalists, we have dancers, and then the lead actors supporting and so on.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a pretty
That's
crew.
pretty intense. And you are the captain of all of that to make sure that it everything falls into place.
Yes, but we do have production managers, stage managers, and so on.
Okay.
So they can take absolutely take control of everything.
Okay. So now tell us again where the play is going to be happening and the dates.
Okay. It's at the theater at Riverside Church, inside the historic Riverside Church, 91 Claremont Avenue in New York City. Very accessible. It's the four winds are there, Columbia University,
Right.
Barnard, Union Theological, and Riverside Church. It's February 22nd at 8 p.m., February 23rd at 8, and Sunday, February 24th at 6 p.m.
Okay. And is there a website if people want to get more information?
Yes, definitely. www.tinystarproductions.com. Star has 2 R's. So TINYSTARR Productions.com.
Okay. And is there a telephone number if people want to inquire about tickets?
Absolutely. You can actually call 888-679-3104, or you can call the Riverside box office as well, and you definitely can have tickets available for you.
Fantastic. Now, I know you have a performance for us today.
We do.
Okay. Now, tell us what we're going to hear and experience.
Okay, you're going to hear, actually, this song came to me in a dream. Actually, it was September. Mitt Romney, I thank him for this moment. He was talking about the 47%.
Yes.
And we all know that. We don't need to get into that.
Right.
But that night, as I slept, the lyrics and the music came to me. We're all a part of the American story, with liberty and justice for all, where every man and woman is counted, and courage and strength we count as our own. We're all a part of the story.
Yes.
And I reached in the darkness from my iPhone, doing a commercial for them, but anyway, and I recorded it. And that's so important. When you get a vision, lock it in.
Right then and there. Yes.
And that's how it came about.
Fantastic. So this is what we're going to hear now.
Yes.
This is the
It's
theme,
the theme
song.
It's a
from
very simple
Mr.
chorus.
President.
Yes.
Okay. And this is going to be, we're all a part of the story.
Here we go.
We're all a part of the American story, with liberty and justice for all, where every man and woman is counted, and courage and strength we count as our own. encourage the people with courage and strength. No man stands alone. We're all a part of the story. We're all a part of the story. We're all a part of the American story, with love in our hearts and hand in hand, providing a ray of light for our children and shepherding them to the promised land. We're all a part of the American story, with liberty and justice for all, equipped with a dream to encourage the people. United we stand, divided we fall. We're all a part of the story. We're all a part of the story. We're all a part of the story. We're all a part of the story.
We're all a part of the American story. Whether Republican or Democrat, black, white, Asian, Latino, it doesn't matter where you come from. As long as you know that you're a part of the story, you take your rightful place. Stand up and be counted of men. We're all a part of the American story. Here we go.
You're a part of the story. 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 We're all a part of the story. Put your hands together. We're all a part of the story. We're all a part of the story. We're all a part of the story. We're all a part of the story.
That was fantastic.
I'm glad you
Thank
enjoyed
you
it.
so much.
Thank you.
I mean, those words, I'm sure, will resonate with people everywhere. Anyone who hears that. And if you can carry that with you throughout your day, you know, I mean, wouldn't we be a much better society?
Sure, we would be.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that song. You know, many people walked out of the theater singing that song.
Wow.
We're all a part of the story. Everyone has value. Everyone is significant and important. If we start living like that, wow.
that's what a difference that would make. And what a tremendous gift that is that you have brought us. And
Thank you so
really,
much.
I want to thank you, and I'm sure folks who come to the play and experience that will be thanking you also.
Well, thank you.
Now, mention please for me who the two young people are who were singing
Yes,
with you.
today we had Tanisha Hill,
Okay.
and she actually is the artistic director for the alumni choir, Boys and Girls Choir of Harlem.
Okay.
And she's an activist and actor in her own right. And we also have Charles Thomas, who is also a great vocalist and actor and so on and so forth.
Fantastic.
So they were kind enough to come and be with me today.
Okay, and we thank them for bringing that tune to us
Yes.
and the message in that. And we want to thank you, Pamela, for all the work that you're doing, for your gift, your divine gift, and what you're bringing to all of us. And I would want to encourage everyone to come and see Mr. President at the Riverside Theater.
Thank you so much.
Next week, and you know, just take in the lessons and the values that you are helping to strengthen through our community.
Because
Thank
it
you
is
so much.
there.
It is.
Thank you so much for having me. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
You're so very welcome. But before we go, Pamela, I would love for you to share some information about the Tiny Starr Cares Foundation.
Tiny Starr Cares is my heart, because I believe that with all that we're doing, we have to plant and replant in the community. And that's the arm that is so important to me. So from every show that we produce, we're committed to giving scholarships to young persons. And
Marvelous.
Tiny Starr Cares identifies finances to give to young people, you know, who just don't have the money, but they have the artistic and academic acumen to do something really great.
Okay.
And so every show we've been doing that from the beginning, so we're excited about that. That's Tiny Starr Cares.
Wow. On top of everything else, you are supporting and nurturing our youth, and that's fantastic. Again, thank you for all the work that you do, for all that you contribute to who we are and to our communities. And we're going to be there to see Mr. President next week. Okay. So we want to thank you for joining us today. We want to thank Pamela Eatman Skinner for being here. And we encourage you to take a look at TinyStarProductions.com and check out the dates for Mr. President at Riverside Theater next week. And as always, we want to say, and on leaving, that the dream is in the mind of the believer and in the hands of the doer, and you are not given that dream unless you're given the power to make it happen. So go ahead and make your dream happen and have a fantastic week in doing that until we see you again.